Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be building a really rigorous technical framework for evaluating perforated cable tray suppliers. Look, as engineering procurement managers, we know our primary job isn't just buying materials, right? It's mitigating risk on a massive scale. So today, we're going to cut through the noise and look strictly at the data and the real-world metrics that separate true manufacturers from the middlemen.
Here's our agenda for tackling these high-stakes commercial projects. We'll start with the hidden costs of failure, then move through our core evaluations. That's physical and matching, load and corrosion, and standards compliance, before wrapping the whole thing up with a definitive final checklist and benchmarking. Let's dive in.
Starting right off with Section 1, the hidden cost of failure.
Now, it's a known fact in our industry that choosing the wrong supplier costs a whole lot more than just money. We're talking severe schedule impacts, compromised structural integrity, and honestly, soaring labor costs as your installation teams desperately try to force inferior, mismatched components to fit together on site. I mean, we all know that visceral dread of getting a call from a site manager on a Friday afternoon because the tray fittings simply won't align.
And those real-world consequences are brutal. Mismatched fittings or inconsistent hot-dip galvanizing thickness, those translate directly into lost time. When your crew is stuck modifying trays on site, or QA has to reject an entire batch, you aren't just losing a few hours, you are adding literal weeks to your project timeline. It's a total procurement nightmare, but the good news is, it's one we can easily avoid.
Which brings us nicely to Section 2, our core evaluation for physical matching and how to spot the red flags. For us as procurement managers, everything hinges on 6 core evaluation metrics. These 6 criteria are absolutely crucial for separating a true manufacturer from a simple catalog vendor. You've got to verify their internal quality inspection, check their lead time reliability, operational scale, partnership transparency, global safety standard adherence, and of course, direct factory manufacturing capabilities. Enforcing these 6 specific metrics is your frontline defense.
Just look at the stark contrast in risk here. A qualified manufacturer actually owns the factory floor. They provide intelligent solutions and hold themselves to incredibly strict standards. On the flip side, a catalog vendor is just outsourcing. And what does that mean for you? It means inconsistent specs, mismatched fittings, and hidden delays that pop up out of nowhere. For critical infrastructure, that kind of variability is just not an option.
Let's look at a really prime example of this physical evaluation in action: HDG coating consistency. Consistent hot-dip galvanizing is definitely not just some nice-to-have cosmetic feature. Think about it. If that thickness varies wildly, the fittings just aren't going to align smoothly. Your on-site engineers will struggle, structural integrity drops, and corrosion resistance is instantly compromised. Uniformity is literal proof of manufacturing competence.
Let's keep moving into Section 3, the engineering realities of load and corrosion.
Put your analytical hats on for a second. We have to rigorously evaluate IEC 1653 load classes A through D. This standard dictates exactly how much weight the tray can handle safely under various spans. But simultaneously, we have to match the coating system to the specific environmental corrosivity, that's your C2 through C5 categories. If a supplier cannot confidently hand you test data mapping directly to these exact matrices, well, they're introducing unquantifiable risks to your build.
And just to put that into perspective, a C5 corrosion environment isn't just some label on a spec sheet. It's a critical survivability metric. Say you're building an industrial plant near the coast. Specifying correctly on this C2 to C5 scale is literally the difference between a cable management system that lasts for decades and one that completely rots out within a year.
Moving forward, let's hit Section 4, standards compliance and the need for global proof.
Make no mistake, any supplier worth your budget absolutely must comply with this rigorous list of international standards. We're looking for IEC 65137 for the overall system performance, NEMA VE1 for North American metallic tray standards, BSEN 50085 for electrical installations, and GB 31251 for key regional compliance. If their documentation is missing these certifications, honestly, they should be instantly disqualified from your shortlist.
And why are we so strict about this? Because these standards are completely non-negotiable when sourcing for high-stakes environments. We're talking about data centers routing massive power and fiber optics, rail transit systems where vibration and human safety are paramount, harsh industrial plants, and massive commercial buildings. You just can't compromise on NEMA or IEC standards when millions of dollars in infrastructure are relying on those trays holding steady.
All right, let's tie it all together in Section 5, our final checklist and benchmarking. To truly protect your projects, you and your engineering teams need a strict 7-point checklist before any PO is signed. This means you audit the raw materials, verify load test data, confirm coating thickness, check alignment tolerances, validate delivery timelines, review global certifications, and ensure mechanical joint integrity. This isn't just a friendly guideline, folks. It is a required pre-flight check.
Following this logical sequence basically eliminates the guesswork from your job. Step 1. You apply those 6 core criteria we talked about to identify a true factory. Step 2. Demand exact compliance verification for IEC, NEMA, BSEN, and GB. Step 3. Execute your 7-point pre-order checklist. Follow this roadmap, and you effectively shield your project from catastrophic delays.
So, what does the passing grade actually look like in the real world? Well, we've Xinma as our benchmark solution. They embody these exact standards. We're talking true, direct manufacturing of cable tray systems, busway, and seismic bracing. They provide intelligent cable management solutions that hit every single compliance metric we've discussed today, making them a fantastic standard bearer for exactly what procurement managers should be looking for.
Which brings us to the ultimate question for your own procurement strategy. As you look at your upcoming project pipeline, ask yourself, is your next order coming from a true manufacturer who owns the risk and guarantees compliance? Or are you buying from a catalog and just hoping for the best? As procurement leaders, we have to demand the data and source for success. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.